What is going on? Welcome back to another video. So today, we're going to just be talking about something that was put on my heart this morning when I was reading the Bible. And it's in Luke chapter 17, verse 11 to 19. And this is where Jesus heals the 10 men with leprosy. And I thought it was just so profound how it just jumped out at me. And how it's not only just here, but it's been repetitive throughout the Bible, the way that Jesus works. So I'm just going to read it real quick and then we're going to go through it. So verse 11, now on his way to Jerusalem, talking about Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into the village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. When he saw them, he said, go show yourselves to the priests. As they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner? Then he said to him, rise and go. Your faith has made you well. So one of the first things that stood out to me was, obviously Jesus is doing something. He's walking, and these 10 men come up to him and ask to have pity on them. Because they had leprosy, they had no way of going into the towns or into the cities because they were deemed unclean. So therefore, they asked Jesus to heal them, right? And he said, when he saw them, this is verse 14, when he saw them, he said, go show yourselves to the priest. So Jesus asked them to go. They weren't even clean yet. They weren't even cleansed from their leprosy, but he asked them to go. And that's why it's so important to read halfway through 14. It says, and as they went, they were cleansed. And one of the notes I took was Jesus sent them away uncleansed, and as soon as they walked in faith, they were cleansed. And as much as that can tie to me, I feel like that can tie to everybody else. It's Jesus just wants us to be able to walk in faith. Even if we were unclean, are we able to obey his command and step in faith? Even though we're unclean, right? Like them, they stepped in faith and they were cleansed. How many times in our life do we end up asking God, or saying to God, when I'm clean, then I'll go. Or when I receive this, then I'll go. But in reality, Jesus, he just wants us to take a step in faith, and that faith is going to allow us to be cleansed. So the question is, again, how many times has Jesus just asked you to step in faith even though you were broken? And then when you stepped in faith, you were able to see this healing, right? Maybe you haven't dealt with that before, but maybe this is a video that allows you to see that Jesus might just want you to step in faith, and then your cleansing will happen. It's just like going to church. If you don't go to church, right? The church is a place of broken people. We're not all righteous. We're not perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't need Christ. So that's why it's so important to be able to take a step in faith, whether it be going to church, whether it be going into something that Jesus is asking you to do and you know he is, but you're just in your mind, you're like, I'm broken, I'm anxious, I'm fearful. But when you take that step in faith and trust in the Lord, that's where he gives you the strength to overcome that fear and overcome the anxiety, and then to begin the sanctification process of being holy and becoming holy and set apart from the world. And then moving forward, a foreigner knew exactly what had been done and showed praise. As this says, he was a Samaritan. And earlier, or with like the Samaritan woman, the Jews and the Samaritans, they didn't like each other. So therefore, that's why it's so profound that this Samaritan man came back. The Samaritan, knowing that Jesus is a Jew, he came back and praised the Lord, right? And that's where it's so profound. That's why it's so cool to read these things and just see that giving praise to the Lord where praise is due is just so important. And that's why when at verse 19 he said, rise and go, your faith has made you well. So I hope this helps. I know there wasn't necessarily direction in this, but I just hope that this puts something in your heart and allows you to see something differently as you continue to read or as you continue to listen to sermons or whatever the case may be. I hope that you guys continue to grow your faith and grow in relationship with Christ. And as always, have a blessed day.